Welcome back to Final Horror Stories, the channel of true and bone-chilling murders. On Christmas Eve 2002, Lacy Peterson, 8 months pregnant, disappeared from her Modesto home, leading to a harrowing discovery and a trial that shocked the world. Picture a quaint suburban street in Modesto, California, adorned with twinkling Christmas lights and festive cheer. It's December 24th, 2002, and the air carries the crisp bite of winter. Inside a modest home on Covina Avenue, Lacy Peterson, a 27-year-old woman with a warm smile and a glow of impending motherhood, prepares for her day. 8 months pregnant with a boy she and her husband, Scott, have named Connor, she's a picture of hope, dreaming of the nursery she's decorated, the tiny clothes folded neatly, the life she's about to bring into the world. Lacy is known for her kindness, her love of gardening, and her infectious laugh that could light up any room. That morning, Scott, a 30-year-old fertilizer salesman with a charming exterior, tells police later that he watched TV with Lacy, something about meringues on a Martha Stewart segment, before heading out. He claims Lacy planned to walk their golden retriever, Mackenzie, and mop the kitchen floor while he drove 90 miles west to fish at the Berkeley Marina. It's a story that sounds mundane, almost wholesome, until it unravels into a nightmare. Scott says he left around 9:30 a.m., kissing Lacy goodbye as she stood in their cozy home, her belly round with the promise of their son. The drive to the marina takes about an hour and a half, and Scott insists he spent the day there, casting lines into the choppy waters of San Francisco Bay. He returns home in the late afternoon, around 4:30 p.m., and finds the house eerily quiet. Mackenzie is in the backyard, still wearing his leash, but Lacy is nowhere to be found. The mop bucket sits unused, the floor untouched. Scott says he showered, ate some leftover pizza, and drank milk straight from the carton. Small, casual details that later haunt the investigation. When Lacy doesn't answer her phone, he calls her mother, Sharon Rocha, who grows frantic. By evening, Lacy's stepfather reports her missing, and Modesto transforms into a town on edge. The search begins immediately, a desperate race against time. Volunteers comb the streets, parks, and trails, their breath fogging in the cold as they call Lacy's name. Flyers go up on every lamppost, her photo, a bright-eyed brunette with a radiant smile, becoming a symbol of loss. The media descends, news trucks lining the quiet streets, cameras trained on the Peterson home. Sharon Rocha pleads on television, tears streaming down her face, begging for her daughter's safe return. Lacy's friends recall her excitement about motherhood, how she'd talk about Connor's kicks and the dragonflies she loved, believing they were signs of good luck. But as days turn to weeks, hope fades, replaced by a gnawing dread. Scott's behavior raises eyebrows from the start. Detectives note his cool detachment, no tears, no visible panic. He speaks in measured tones, recounting his day with a precision that feels rehearsed. Neighbors report seeing Lacy walking Mackenzie that morning, but Scott insists she was home when he left. Then, on January 24th, 2003, a bombshell drops. Amber Fry, a single mother and massage therapist from Fresno, steps into a press conference, her voice trembling. She reveals she'd been dating Scott since November, that he'd pursued her with charm and lies, claiming he was a widower grieving his lost wife, weeks before Lacy disappeared. Recorded calls between Amber and Scott, made after she began cooperating with police, paint a damning picture. Scott laughing, flirting, planning a future while his pregnant wife remained missing. Lacy's family reels, their trust in Scott shattered. Sharon later writes in her memoir for Lacy that she'd once thought Scott was perfect for her daughter, until the mask slipped. The investigation tightens around Scott like a noose. Police search the house, finding no blood, no signs of struggle, nothing to suggest a crime scene. Yet Scott's story phrase, he bought a 14-foot fishing boat days before Lacy vanished, a detail he downplayed. His truck, searched meticulously, yields little, but his trip to the marina, 90 miles from home on Christmas Eve, strikes investigators as odd. Why so far? Why that day? Then, in April 2003, the bay delivers its grim truth. On April 13th, a couple walking near Point Isabel finds the tiny, decomposed body of a baby boy, umbilical cord still attached. The next day, a mile away, a woman discovers a female torso, headless and limbless, washed ashore. DNA confirms the worst. It's Lacy and Connor, discarded like refuse in the waters Scott had fished. 5 days later, on April 18th, Scott is arrested near a San Diego golf course, 400 miles from Modesto. His hair is dyed blonde, a goatee frames his face, and his car holds $10,000 in cash, camping gear, and his brother's ID signs, prosecutors say, of a man poised to flee to Mexico. Charged with 2 counts of murder, Scott pleads not guilty, hiring celebrity attorney Mark Garagos. The trial, moved to Redwood City due to Modesto's media saturation, begins June 1, 2004. It's a circus, cameras, crowds, and a nation glued to every word. Prosecutors build a case on circumstance: Scott's affair, his lies to Amber, the bodies found near his fishing spot. They theorize he killed Lacy at home. Perhaps a soft kill like suffocation, leaving no trace, weighted her body with concrete anchors he'd made, and dumped her in the bay to stage a disappearance. No murder weapon, no blood, no witnesses, just a narrative of a man desperate to shed his wife and unborn child for a carefree life. The defense counters with doubt. Garagos points to a burglary across the street that day. Could Lacy have confronted thieves? Witnesses claim they saw her walking Mackenzie after Scott left, contradicting his timeline. A tip from a prison guard, Lieutenant Aponte, suggests an inmate confessed to a link, but it's dismissed as hearsay. Amber Fry takes the stand, her tapes with Scott chilling the courtroom, hearing him flirt while Lacy's fate hung unknown. After 5 months, on November 12, 2004, the jury convicts Scott of first-degree murder for Lacy and second-degree for Connor. Cheers erupt outside. On March 16, 2005, he's sentenced to death, a penalty later overturned in 2020 due to jury selection errors. Resentenced to life without parole in 2021, Scott still claims innocence, backed by the Los Angeles Innocence Project in 2024, seeking DNA retests on duct tape from Lacy's remains. The horror lingers, Lacy's final moments unknown, her body mutilated by the sea, Connor never drawing breath. Was it Scott, driven by selfishness, or a twist of fate obscured by time? Sharon Rocha sees dragonflies now, whispers of Lacy's spirit, but justice feels incomplete. In Modesto, the house on Covina stands quiet, a monument to a story too real, too bone-chilling to ever fade. A lot of hard work and effort goes into creating these videos for you. If you enjoyed watching this video, the only thing we ask is that you kindly subscribe and like, so we can continue working overtime to bring enjoyment into your life. All for free. Thank you so much. And as always, stay safe and see you tomorrow.